Okay, this is the NDI test. We're going to test OBS NDI. We're going to test scan converter, or what is now known as screen capture. And we're going to test screen capture HX, which uses the NDI HX technology. Right now we're using OBS NDI version 4.9. OBS is currently using between 2 and 2.5% CPU. And it looks like we're getting about 315 frames per second, depending if we're zoomed in or not here. Okay. You can still read the far training bot text as far as the quality goes. I'm currently sending about 130 megabits per second over the network. Now I should note that without OBS running, I get about 340 FPS. So we're going to switch to scan converter, or what is now known as screen capture now. We can see the FPS dips to about 300 sometimes, so take note of that. I'm switching to screen capture now. Okay, now we're on screen capture. We can see we get about the same metrics here. About 315 frames per second, depending if we're zoomed in or not. You can still kind of make out the training bot text. I'm currently sending 170 megabits per second, which is up from 130 from OBS NDI. Now if we go to our process manager, we can see NDI is using about 1.5 CPU. This goes up to 2 at times, 2%, depending on the amount of action on the screen. You can see when I move the cursor around really fast, it spiked because a lot of things were moving. Okay, so now we're going to go to screen capture HX, which is a new NDI technology. Okay, now we're on NDI HX.
Target neutralized.
Now we can see we're edging out a little bit more FPS, anywhere from 10 to 20 frames per second more. When we zoomed in, we get pretty close to what it was, to 348 frames per second. If you look really closely, the training bot text might be a little bit more blurry, but I personally cannot tell. On the network, I'm currently sending about 30 megabits per second compared to the 170 of screen capture and the 130 of OBS NDI. And we can see that NDI is only using 0.15 to 0.2 CPU. I've seen this go up to maybe 0.3, sometimes significantly lower than the 2% of regular NDI OBS or screen capture. You might also notice that the thread count is also down at 60, whereas about 180 with the old NDI.
Target neutralized.
And that's the NDI